Welcome. I don't know how to present myself. Okay, I've been trying so hard to, make this video. So one of the topics that have been in my mind non-stop is obviously the fact that I now live alone. And most importantly is that I actually live abroad. So I basically moved out of my country when I was 21, and I immediately started in the, let's say, like, work environment, work world. And it was a very interesting, it still is because I'm still in it, but it's like an experience of living in a country where you don't know the language, where you need to pay the bills and everything after living with your family your whole life, basically. So I was kind of inspired by one of the girls that I follow. She's also, Algerian as well. And she made a video about living alone. She lives in Canada. So I was really inspired by her. Her name is Yasmin. And I think another thing that kind of inspired me was a poem by Maya Angelou that I'm probably gonna be posting now while reading it. And it truly resonated with a lot of aspects about moving and how you feel after that, the whole sort of spectrum. And I kind of chose this time of the year because I am kind of celebrating the 1 year anniversary of me being abroad. So I kind of noted some stuff about what I wanted to cover and how it looks like for me, how it looks like for a woman coming from North Africa, etc., moving to Europe. So, and at a young age, well, a lot of people said that it's a young age, but for me, I felt like I was ready, but that's not the subject. Anyways, so I think the first thing that happens to you when you move is that you have a euphoria. It's a new place, there's new people, it's a new culture, you really want to experience everything. You want to taste everything. First time maybe being on a plane, which was my case, and it's so vibrating. It has so many, like, the adrenaline bursts you feel when you get here, and like the feelings of you even get scared at some point because you're like, how am I even gonna cope in a place that is so multicultural, because I live in the capital. So basically there's so many people living in here from different backgrounds, etc. The language, I have absolutely no idea what the language is. I was not familiar with the local language at all. And so this is kind of the first thing that happens to you when you move. You're very happy about the decision and everything, and you're very excited for what the future holds for you, and you're very proud of yourself, which honestly you should be, because it's a big thing. Well, in my culture, we don't really see it as a big thing anymore because so many people do it. And it's only when I got here and I started to talk to people, my friends, Europeans, people who live here, and they were extremely mesmerized with how I was able to do that at, once again, young age. But I don't believe that it's something that you should take lightly, even though I do kind of beat myself. I'll be like, come on, everybody does that, what do you mean? Like, it's like not part of your personality, just get over it, But I do think you should be grateful, you should be happy. First of all, this is kind of a privilege, okay? For you to be able to move in the world is a privilege. And if you get it, it's amazing. And to be settling in another place, to discover new cultures, etc. So people don't have that. A lot of us know, actually, people who never moved from their town, they're born there. They marry there, they get kids, they have their children there, and this is kind of it for them. So I think you should be proud of yourself. Even if you moved, like, let's say just from a town to another, it's a big thing, okay? To move from your comfort zone, to start paying your own bills, etc. is amazing. You should celebrate that and you should be happy about it, no matter how small it is. Moving is beautiful and awesome and hard, okay? Most of it is that it's hard, so it is an achievement. Do not let anyone beat you down for doing something that is so good. So moving from that point about the moving, The euphoria then gets to an end, basically. And your first month, you're trying to discover things, etc. But once you've discovered all of that, you do have then this reality check that comes in where, okay, so now what do I do? Because basically when you move abroad, you're not, let's say not on a daily basis, you're not anymore, you're just you. But when you were in your country, you were someone's daughter, someone's sister, someone's maybe partner, someone's best friend, someone's, you were so many people's pillar, and now you're the only pillar for yourself. Of course, you do have contact with these people, etc. But now, most of the time, you're kind of, there's like just a mirror and a reflection of who you are. And that reflection, you're not really sure who that is anymore. So there's like this sort of destruction of whatever it is you thought you know about yourself. And it's super scary. It's honestly extremely scary. You feel like you're extremely alone, and there is now, you just lose yourself. Like you don't know who you are, and you feel like it's pieces of a puzzle that you need to rebuild yet again, and you feel tired of that already before even putting the work in, because you know what that looks like. And if you moved and you were in a complicated situation, you were already battling so much in your past, so you really thought that moving would solve everything. But honestly, it's just the beginning, your journey as a human who is paving his way through life in a different pace, etc. So if anything, moving is absolutely not the end of the era, sort of is, but if anything, it's the beginning of the actual chapter of your actual life, because this is actually you being you by yourself, having your own problems, having your own issues. And yes, basically this is it. So you're gonna have this losing sense of self. But do not worry, it's just one phase from many others. It kind of looks like the path when you get a spiritual awakening. If you ever read a little bit about that, I was extremely interested in that when I was maybe like 17 or 18, so know how it looks like. So you have the awakening, then you have the bliss, then you have the night of the soul, etc, etc. So while I was writing this, I did remind me of that. So it's kind of like that. You go through this not linear at all, path. So after you lose the sense of self, you do feel loneliness, honestly. There is this feeling of loneliness. And the feeling of loneliness is interesting because in a way, you feel like it's something you needed. Even if it gets crippling at times, you feel like it's something that you needed, and in a way, it's something that you're choosing. Because when you were with your family, etc., you did not choose. You can choose to be alone, but you're never really lonely, There is this feeling of you have never felt actual loneliness. And at the beginning, it feels nice. It can get hard, of course, it can. It should, because it's not a feeling it's not a feeling that I think someone should get too used to, because after all, I do believe we're humans and no man is an island, so it's better to have it as a fleeting moment, but also sit with it, understanding, use it for you, but not let yourself get into the rock bottom of what loneliness could look like, the ugliness of it. Like, you can't help it if it happens to you, but it's better not to stay in that state a long time, which I understand some people do not have a choice. Fortunately, a lot of people do have loneliness that is forced upon them, and I believe that is extremely hard. And if there is anyone you can talk to when it's like that, you should totally contact people, which is ironic coming from me, because I do not contact people when I feel lonely. I'd love to live it throughoutly and then move on by myself, then contact people and be like, oh my god, I had the worst phase ever. That's just how we function, I guess. Maybe you too, I don't know. So there's another feeling that comes with loneliness also. You can feel it when you're in a place where you don't speak the language. You have the cultural barrier and the language barrier, so it's like you don't really find your tribe, if that's what we can call, it feels like the connection with people isn't as deep as it used to be where you were, which is completely okay. You have to give yourself time and give yourself grace. This is a new place. These people have different living experiences. So it's completely fine to not find your people from the get-go, you know? And sometimes you do feel them, sometimes you lose friends, and sometimes etc. Because also one of the other phases of loneliness in this subject is that you might lose some friends that you used to have back in your country. Most probably you're gonna lose people from that because you're growing in an extremely different dimension, and they are also growing in their own dimension. And sometimes this growth doesn't really align, so you part. Some friendships do survive, others don't. I am generally not the best judge about that because I feel like if a connection really doesn't work, then you can fight for it depending on the depth of the relationship. But if it doesn't work at all, well, just hope for the best for people. You're growing on your own way as well, and you deserve grace and to be celebrated. So it's fine, like if you lose friends, etc., just remind yourself that it's okay and that you did not meet everyone that you're gonna love yet. Life is long, so it's okay about that. It's totally fine. And you will get over it. It's okay. So, okay. One other aspect about loneliness is that you're gonna start to ask yourself, what is home? Where is home? Because if I moved, obviously there were parts of me where I was that didn't feel like I belonged there. This is why I felt the need to move. And also now I'm in a new place. I don't know the codes, I don't know the morals, I don't know how people are, I don't understand the subtleties of the culture. So what is home? Where is home? Or maybe who is home, basically. So you're gonna have all of these questions. And with time you understand that maybe the only home is you. Like, who is home? Basically the only person is you. Maybe a few people that you can choose along the way. Place-wise, the only home you choose, the only actual home is the home you choose. So it's okay. You can have probably different homes all the time. And as long as you don't let go of yourself to be in touch with yourself, it doesn't really matter what, materialistically speaking, what home is. And this quest of always finding home, I think I will always have it because I do feel like I am in an internal exile, and I am growing to understand that I'm okay with that. A poem by Maya Angelou, Alone. I think it really resonates with me. When I read it, I was like, this is exactly how it can feel sometimes, and it's probably gonna resonate with you if you're watching this. So, Alone by Maya Angelou. Laying, thinking, last night, how to find my soul a house where water is not thirsty and bread loaf is not stone. I came up with one thing, and I don't believe I am wrong, that nobody but nobody can make it out here alone. It really moves me in many ways, because that's exactly how it can feel at some point. And the fact that you're always kind of searching for, longing for that place, or longing for those people, or that person who can make you feel like you're not there anymore. I get it. Like, if you're going through this, I understand. Okay, you're not alone in your loneliness. You're not. It's okay. It's fine. It's totally fine. You're in your 20s, maybe, and if you're not, that's fine. Also, stay. But if you're in your 20s, that's like so okay. If you're in your 30s, that's like incredibly okay for you. And if you're above the 30s or anything, that's actually such a blessing to be lost after so many years, because you have now so many, like, you have so many, how to say that, like, material about what you've been through in the other, decades, and now you know where the path is. You've tested yourself in so many situations, and life tested you in so many situations. So this is, by all means, this is awesome. So just embrace it in a way. And it kind of feel hypocritical because sometimes I don't really say this to myself. So I get it if hearing it for someone else helps, because for me it does. That's why I listen to podcasts and videos and everything at work, when I'm cooking, when I'm doing anything. I like to hear it from a third part, from someone who is outside of where I am, so that I can see it from an objective point of view. So this is what I'm trying to be for you. So past this phase, let's say, you're gonna understand that you don't really change because you move. Like, you change, of course, in ways, because you evolve like a human being does, but overall, the real you, the darkest part of you, who you've always dealt with, are gonna come back. So you're gonna have to deal with them yet again, unfortunately. But this time, just know that this time, most probably the work that is gonna be done is gonna stay forever and is gonna bring results. As small as it can be, the growth, as small as it can be, it's gonna be impactful. Because this time it's you, by your own rules, doing your own thing with your own pace. No matter how critical you are about yourself, no matter how harsh you are about yourself, you will get past that at some point. And one day you will oblige yourself to look at it in an objective way, and you'll be like, well, I guess I did grow a bit, didn't I? I was just kind of harsh to myself because of all the voices that I accumulated in my childhood when I was young. But I definitely did, move. I did move a little bit. I did something somewhere, which is awesome. It's good. You celebrate that. Again, a lot of celebrations, right? Why not? So, after all of this, which is the night of the soul, basically, that you're going through, you're gonna get to the point where you're gonna make peace with it. Like, this is it, okay? This is my life. I chose to be independent. I chose to be far away from what is my family, my friends, my comfort zone, everything. I chose that. So I'm gonna take my responsibility and accountability about my own decisions, and I am going to start and rebuild myself. And this is the most amazing part, because you're gonna cherry pick the sides of yourself that you want to keep and the sides of yourself that you don't want to keep, which of course is not easy, but you can get to that because this is just you with yourself. So you're gonna start to cherry pick, like, I want this to be on my daily life. For example, I want to be someone who, I don't know, like, moisturize twice a day when I wake up and when I sleep. So you're gonna choose that, and this, when you keep doing it, it's gonna be actually like one of your things that defines you, because it's you and you choose, and it's you under your roof and under your rules. So might as well choose wisely. I would advise, because sometimes some bad habits do stick, and bad habits are hard. So if you come with bad habits, maybe the first step is to get over them, then working on good habits. And then you're gonna accept your growth, and you're gonna accept the fact that you're actually growing at a different pace, and that it's okay, and that growth is growth, and you've already done amazing things, and that you're never actually alone, that this whole earth is, you're gonna understand that home is nowhere because it's everywhere, and that this whole earth is meant for you to discover that you're never alone, actually. And sometimes that actually heals you. And when it's hard, you can go out, have a coffee, meet people, and they change the way you feel. So I think if you're someone who moved abroad and sometimes you feel lonely, this is my message for you. Just wear anything, or just go as you are outside and just walk, okay? Have a coffee. Do something out of your way, okay? Do something crazy. Don't just stay there and feel bad, because you did it, okay? You did many things, and you did it well, no matter how hard it can be. So just go out, see people, see others living, try to have a conversation maybe, if you can, and it's probably gonna make you feel better and make you feel grateful, because that's all kind of what matters. If you move, it's for you to feel free, and you are free. Just don't forget it.